Hi, this is Dan Devlin for the Detective Dan Devlin Show. Honorable people, honorable nation. You've heard me say it before. I don't believe you can have an honorable nation if you don't have honorable people. And folks, I've got to tell you, look around. Ask yourself, how many honorable people do you know? I'm not talking about fairly good people who are doing nice things in their community. I'm talking about people who are honorable in the respect that they're willing to treat others as they wish to be treated. And when they see disastrous things happening, they're willing to stand up and do whatever is necessary in order to do and make sure others do what is right and just. Welcome to the program. This program is titled Destroying the Constitution. That's the title of our program today, Destroying the Constitution. That's the Constitution of the United States. And of course it applies to many state constitutions as well, including that of New York State. A constitution, as you know, is made up of words. And those words are vital to our understanding of what we should be doing and the goals of the nation or the state, whoever the constitution, that particular constitution is supposed to govern. Whether the individuals who fall under that Constitution have guidelines within that Constitution that should control their good behavior and sometimes speaks about their bad behavior. These are words, but these words are about principles. And I want to read something, and you know I don't normally do this, but I'm going to read it. And this is from my book titled The Right of Rights. This is from chapter 2. And I'm reading this from a document that I wrote some time ago that is vital to us ceasing this attitude of destroying the Constitution of the United States, which we are currently doing, and we're aiding in that destruction. This is an affirmation of the United States constitutional rights of and responsibility to posterity, in particular, our posterity. When words become a threat to the understanding of the principles by which we live, it is time to remember we can live by principles alone, but not by words alone. I want you to stop and play that again. And it goes on to these following words. Men who live by words alone afford themselves the right to lay down twisting, winding roads whose hazards and destination, if known to any man, are known only to them. Yet, by far, the greatest danger any man, any nation, any people can face is the loss of the ability to be honest with one's self. Therefore, I ask you, look inside your heart where honesty resides and dust it off and bring it out, and then prepare to cry, because we have betrayed the sacred trust passed on to us through years. We are killing the posterity of our founding fathers, those for whom the blessings were secured, and consequently bear the burden of their tears. I'm not the best reader in the world, but I'd like you to stop and play that again. And I'm going to read that first paragraph again, because it's about how we maintain our nation, our society. If words are meaningless, if we allow people to manipulate them, to change them into something that it was never meant to be, we have no control and we have no constitution, we have no fundamental principles upon which we as a people and a society can really base what we're doing towards a successful future. When words become a threat to the understanding of the principles by which we live, it is time to remember we can live by principles alone, but not by words alone. Some people have used the expression, words are the ideas that men live by. Perhaps. But when we allow people to twist and turn these words to their own benefit, and if they repeat it often enough, you know the expression about repeat a lie often enough and people will believe it. So you twist and turn those words, and all of a sudden, people are either confused or they're convinced that you're correct about their meaning. One of the greatest disasters in the principles of a society is when those words are twisted to a degree that we wind up destroying those who are specifically named to benefit from the establishment of the Constitution. Now this program, by the time we're finished with this program, you're going to understand more about the importance of words. And you're going to understand why here in the United States, perhaps the greatest danger that we face is the acceptance of the manipulation of words by those who I would call not only our opponents, but those who want to destroy the true meaning of the words of the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution is being destroyed because the words have become meaningless. And so when we talk about religious freedoms, for example, and yet we tell the religious community that they don't even have a right to possess the tools to protect their own people. And yes, that ties in with the Second Amendment as well, and the Ninth Amendment as well. When we have a Second Amendment where people can't seem to figure out what the words that are pretty clear in the Constitution, and I'll remind you, it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And again, I remind people, some people want to make it an issue over firearms. Other people want to make it an issue over a militia. And I point to the core of that Second Amendment, which is designed to let you know that security is the ultimate goal of a responsible society. And because we want that security, you have to have the tools, the ability to be secure. And whether those tools are firearms, or whether they're in 10 years or 20 years, they're going to be lasers, or whether there's some other means, and in the very basic area, whether it's a knife, whether it's a club, whether it is actually words that can help defend you in a court of law or in the public field where so many of our decisions are made. All these things are made to do what? I'll remind you again. The statement of purpose of the Constitution of the United States says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." They established the Constitution for a purpose. If you don't have those blessings of liberty, if you have not been able to secure them, your ability to ensure domestic tranquility or provide for the common defense or to promote the general welfare or establish justice is likely non-existent, because it takes those blessings of liberty, that freedom, that ability to be able to say what needs to be said, to be able to use the words that we need to express the ideas that we wish to be a good and decent people of a good and decent nation. Our nation is a culmination of the thoughts and the principles of the people who are in charge of the nation at the time. That's us now. It's we, the people of our current day. We are guardians. We are protectors. We are stewards of those very important words that in recent years have been twisted and turned in order to push us in a direction that is not honorable, that does not benefit the good and decent people, the hardworking people, the dedicated people, the sharing people of the United States of America. Many of us believe that rights are something that just happen and have always been in existence. Some of us say that they're a gift from God. You've heard me say that. I can believe that, but if you don't believe in God, it's kind of meaningless to you. And I've made the point that, if someone wants to take your life and you say, well, I have this right from God that allows me to continue to exist, do you think that they're going to say, oh, yes, I guess I better not harm you. I better not kill you. I better not take your life. I better not take your property because you have these rights from your God. Try it and see how it works. Having been on the streets as a law enforcement officer, investigating crimes, dealing with people who have a different set of values than the values that we're supposed to have here in the United States, see how they react to your explanation of why you should be unharmed. Words are put into effect. When we don't know what those words mean, it is very difficult for us to stand by those words and stand by the principles which they express. So the destruction of the Constitution is happening because, and yes, I understand a lot of people don't like what I say. And oftentimes they don't like what I say because what I say hurts. It causes them to wrestle with their conscience. It causes them to ask themselves, should I be doing more? And we are much more content with doing the things that help us financially or have us have a happier life where we don't have to deal with these important things that not only are to our benefit, but are meant for the benefit of all the good and decent people, the honorable people of our nation. Hopefully, and our intent is, at the end of every program, you should come away with a better understanding of how we become a more honorable people so we can have a more honorable nation. But if we don't care about the words in our Constitution, if we don't care about the words that describe the freedoms that we're supposed to care about, I have to be honest with you. My opinion is you don't deserve those rights. And whether you deserve them or not, I can almost guarantee you won't have them for very long. And even worse, the people that you care about, your sons and your daughters, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, will pay the price because you didn't care enough to learn about what is threatening our society and be willing to do something about it. A friend recently said, I should always ask people to go to our videos, our YouTube channel, for example, which currently you can reach by going to, in the search engine in YouTube, FundamentalHumanRights.Org. You can type that in, and that'll bring up our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch a wide selection of the videos that we've done. But we need you, and I haven't asked for this before, we need you to like those and to share those videos, because while you may not be willing to say these things yourself, they must be said if we're going to be an honorable people and have an honorable society. You can also go to info@honorablepeoplehonorablenation.org and let us know what you think. If you wish to help, you can help produce these programs. You can help get the word out. You can organize a forum in your community where we can come and answer the questions that your community cares about. And no, we're not going to go there and present something that everyone likes, because the things that are going on are distasteful. We have to be willing to face what is wrong in order to make what is right readily available to the good and decent people we're supposed to be serving. Whether it's from a religious standpoint or whether it's strictly from a national standpoint of being concerned about our fellow citizens who are good and decent people and want the things that we want for our posterity. Our posterity, all our descendants until the end of time. You know my position. Our posterity, at minimum, includes our unborn descendants in the womb, and those are the unborn descendants of people from Washington and Madison and Jefferson, all our heroes, our war heroes who get no attention. Our nation calls and says that they want their service. They go to some foreign land and lose their life and are pretty much forgotten by all, other than on a few occasions where we stand up and we say, oh, thank you for your service, or we appreciate your sacrifice, and that is it. How much do they care about you if they won't do the things that provide protection for your own yet-to-be-born children, grandchildren, and beyond? I know the issue of abortion is one that is distasteful for many people. Just speaking about it recently, we acknowledge that many people who even express the opinion that they're opposed to abortion really like to see abortions happen with other people because they don't want other people having more children. But they, perhaps because they want to be holier than thou, they say, personally, I'm opposed to it. I've got news for you. At least from my Christian teaching, from the scripture that I read, when you stand by and you allow others, innocent individuals, to be destroyed, you will be accountable. You'll be held accountable because you chose to do nothing to help those innocent individuals who have as much right to continue their existence as you do. Because that Constitution, as we go back to the Constitution, because some people would throw out religion, the Constitution itself says that its purpose is to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Etch that in your mind. It is not just for ourselves. It is and our posterity, and as long as human beings continue to engage in the activity that physically produces other human beings, that is the posterity of the people of the United States, and we need to stop killing them now. The legislators that I've spoken to, President Trump, we've communicated. I need you to go further, and I know from what you've expressed, you should be on board with the protection of those who are named in the Constitution to receive its benefits. There is no one who has taken that oath, whether it's military, law enforcement, whether it's legislators, at all levels. No one who has taken that oath has the right to continue to hold office if they do not halt the destruction of our posterity in the womb. It needs to happen now. We need to do it because every day we do not, we become a more dishonorable people, and we are aiding in the destruction of the Constitution and this nation, which I hope will once again be honorable. You can help these messages get out. You can share them by going to our YouTube channel and clicking share. Let people hear them. Let them hear the truth. And really, that's the essence of what destroying the Constitution is about. When we can't deal with the truth of the Constitution, whether it's in the Second Amendment, and by the way, everyone that I've dealt with from all different angles of the Constitution, every single one of them, with the exception of one who I can think of, who refused to answer, every single one of them agrees if they were about to be attacked by four individuals, one with a knife, one with a club, one with a pipe, one with his bare hands, they would wish that they had a firearm with which to be able to defend themselves and their child and their spouse. And when people wrestle with these real life situations that occur, all of a sudden these self-professed ideas of we should never have guns, everyone should be peaceful, we should love each other. Wake up. See the real world. As a lawman, as a military person in war, I can tell you ideals are great. But we live in reality. And the reality is that when you profess a situation where the good and decent people can't have the tools to defend themselves, you are taking that Constitution and you are shredding it, throwing it away, and when you need to call upon it for assistance for you, I'm going to tell you it will not be there. A constitution is something that only has meaning if we live by the words that are contained therein. And if we allow that manipulation of the words, if we allow people to dismiss the fact that our posterity is named alongside us in the Constitution of the United States to receive the exact same blessings of liberty as each one of us, and the reality is, in many cases, they're even more worthy than you and I, because they descend from those who actually fought and risked everything to create the United States of America. Many of us just, whether we came to this country or if we're even born of descendants who were around in the 1800s, how many of us are descendants of those who were around at the founding of the nation and the creation of the Constitution? This is about honor. People ask me, well, what's an honorable person? An honorable person is someone who will look honestly at things. And he will do what he knows is right. And I know that you know what is right in these situations. I need you to fight for the Constitution. Share these videos and you will help do exactly that. God bless you all. I hope you all have a great day. Our nation is really in your hands, and I need your help to make sure we become honorable people of an honorable nation.